I really wish that I changed my setup before winter, because now I have to wait until summer to let my grasshopper legs be free of pants. Because it's colder than that time that I asked a blind man if he liked my shoes when I was 4. Hey everybody, what's up? It's Floyd Lyric and welcome back to Floyd Lyric TV. And for those of you who are new, welcome to the channel of the... We're pretty woke here. Now, in my last video, I covered the conspiracy surrounding the Ashley Madison hack, in which I went on to explain that information of its users, including emails, usernames, and even sometimes credit card details, were actually released to the public in one of the biggest personal data leaks in the history of hacking. Was it actually a hacking or was it an inside job? Now you can go and watch that video right here on my channel. Now, have you guys ever thought that the CIA might actually manipulate the news in order to make you believe in information given by the media uncritically? I think you're gonna have a very hard time believing everything that you hear on the news after I delve into this conspiracy, and definitely after hearing about the declassified operation in which was called Operation Mockingbird, an infiltration to spread fake news and propaganda by the CIA into mainstream media, and how the CIA actually uses the news to influence the public with false information. Wait, I thought I was not filming. Let me just have a sip of my cup. And how the CIA actually uses the news to influence the public with false information in the 1950s. Now, Operation Mockingbird was a secret campaign run by the United States Central Intelligence Agency, or the CIA, to actually influence the media. It actually begun in the 1950s. It was initially organized by Cod Meyer and Alan W. Now, it was later led by Frank Wisner, after Alan himself became the head of the CIA. The organization actually recruited leading American journalists in a network to help present the views of the CIA, and funded some student and cultural organizations and magazines as fronts as it developed. Also worked to influence foreign media, so media outside the country, should I say, and political campaigns, in addition to activities in other operating units of the CIA. Now guys, I'm going to show you a couple clips of a few journalists and people from the CIA who are actually talking about Operation Mockingbird, which is going to give you a rough demonstration as to what and why the Mockingbird is such a big thing. Let's take a look.
I thought that it was a matter of real concern that planted stories intended to serve a national purpose abroad came home and were circulated here and believed here, because this would mean that the CIA could manipulate the news in the United States by channeling it through some foreign country. Now we're looking at that very carefully.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal?
We do have people who submit pieces to American journals.
Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks?
This, I think, gets into the kind of getting into the details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in executive session.
At CBS, we had been contacted by the CIA. As a matter of fact, by the time I became the head of the whole news and public affairs operation in 1954, the ships had been established, and I was told about them and asked if I'd carry on with them.
We have quite a lot of detailed information, and we will evaluate it, and we will include any evidence of wrongdoing or any evidence of impropriety in our final report and make recommendations.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to the national news services, AP and UPI.
Well, again, I think we're getting into the kind of detail, Mr. Chairman, that I'd prefer to handle in executive session.
Senator, do you think that you named the news organizations in your final report?
That remains to be decided.
I think it was entirely in order for our correspondents at that time to make use of the CIA agent chiefs of station and other members of the executive staff of CIA as sources of information which were useful in their assessments of world conditions.
Would you say that continues today?
Well, I would think probably for a reporter it would continue today, but because of all of the revelations of the period of the 1970s, it seems to me that a reporter's got to be much more circumspect in doing it now, or he runs the risk of at least being looked at with considerable disfavor by the public. I think you've got to be much more careful about it.
Now, Operation Mockingbird was actually first founded in a congressional hearing in 1975, which revealed that the CIA was actually allegedly spending $1 billion equivalent to the money in 2016 in bribes to all major American news outlets. Sounded like a beat, like... in secret bribes to all major American news outlets, editors and reporters for exchange of a covert corporation to act as gatekeepers or living microphones for the CIA. Now, the director of Operation Mockingbird, the director of Operation Mockingbird at the time of its runnings, Thomas Braden, actually came out and said that if the CIA wanted to extend a present to someone, he said, suppose this man just used $50,000, or in our time of currency, that would be $250,000, says that he could hand it to him and have to account to absolutely nobody. He claims that there is absolutely no limit to the amount of money that they could spend, no limit to the people that they could hire, and no limit on the activities in which they could decide were necessary or not. Now, the Congressional Committee's report currently contained a network of several hundred individuals who actually provide intelligence for the CIA, and in some cases actually attempt to influence the opinion of the public through the use of covert propaganda. For example, information not openly acknowledged by the public, or information that is misleading, biased, misleading in nature, in order to promote political cause and point of view. And in some cases, they will actually use parroted propaganda, or what I would like to call the repeat system, in which is used in schools to this day to shape our next slaves. Now, these certain individuals provide the CIA with direct access to major newspapers and periodical scores of press services, for example, televisions, newspapers, magazines, radios, and commercial book publishers, and all other sorts of foreign media outlets in other countries, for example. Right after the Church's Committee's report was completed, Rolling Stone magazine actually published an article naming some prominent or well-known journalists who were actually involved with Operation Mockingbird, who worked for the New York Times and the Washington Post, and also Newsweek Times Magazine, New York Herald Tribune, Miami News, and other major media outlets. Now, not much time after these revelations, former president of CBS, Sid Mickelson, was actually asked if reporters still work with the CIA. Now, his response was, yeah, he thinks that they actually probably do. But a reporter would actually have to be much more circumspect, willing to take more risks and be less cautious because of the revelations of the 1970s. He says that when they're doing it now, they actually run the risk of at least being looked at with considerable disfavor by the public, and that you have to be much more discreet about it in today's world. Now, during the early years of the Iraq War, the military allegedly secretly paid Iraqi newspapers to publish stories written by US soldiers, then claimed that they were actually written by Iraqi soldiers who supported the invasion of the US. Could only imagine that American mainstream media would be parroting that fear, mongering false claims, spreading rumors in other words, the Bush administration about the apparent threat posed by Saddam Hussein and his non-existent weapons of complete mass fucking destruction. Boom! Now, reporters in 2008 revealed that many of the military analysts on TV who were reporting on the Iraq War and promoting the war on terror were actually in the Pentagon's fucking pocket. hidden behind the appearance of objectivity. Now, the New York Times reported is actually information machine has used those analysts in a campaign to generate favorable news coverage. For the administration wartime performance, they discovered that several soldiers from the US Army's Psychological Operations Group had actually secretly infiltrated CNN and NPR, National Public Radio, several years earlier, in which they were actually interns for. Fucking North-South mate. Now, MPS actually embarrassingly admitted that the US Army Psychological Operations Unit did place interns at both CNN and NPR in 1998 and in 1999. They claimed that the placements at CNN were reported between European press, and then they were terminated. Now, CNN's Anderson Cooper interned with the CIA for not one, but 2 summers when he was actually in college. When this was reported 20 years later, he claimed that he decided not to pursue a career within the CIA, but instead pursue his career in journalism. Did you get that? Even though he had no training or prior experience. It's fucking stupid, because these days you need like 3 years fucking experience to make a sandwich. Anderson Cooper then went on to actually be one of the faces of CNN. Anderson Cooper later went on in his blog on CNN's website to go on and write that he told all of his reporters about the incident over the years, but none of them have actually come forward to talk about it publicly. Oh my god, that hair was itching my face. Now, the Mockingbird operations are actually still going on today. These covert war propaganda programs were also adopted and implemented when social media first came around. It's like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and the comment sections of online news were also targeted for control. So they are restricting the things that you see and that you hear. Not saying that it isn't there for you to view. It is something that is going to be harder for you to find. I mean, could it be possible that the CIA are controlling what we see in the media? Give us an unrealistic view on what is going on around us. Alright guys, well thank you so much for coming and watching my next conspiracy video on Operation Mockingbird. Now, I'm going to be uploading videos every week. So if you'd like to see that, make sure that you give this a like, make sure that you probably subscribe, and make sure that you guys keep it easy and that you don't listen to everything you hear on the fucking TV. Alright. I literally just finished. That was perfect timing. Like, I literally just set up.